Welcome to Hardheaded Podcast. We're excited that you've joined us as we have a conversation.
It's time to join the conversation.
The heat is on.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Hardheaded. I'm your host, Matt Amos. Along with me, as always, Chet Sears.
Hello.
And Troy Trussell.
Hello.
Episode number 142. Today, we've got what's on Chet's mind. Our top three words of advice for students. And Troy is going to wrap us up with a good word. So, Chet, new communist in the house. Welcome, welcome back from China.
I visited Asia Pacific. I wasn't just in China.
You sent me a video from China.
What video did I send you?
The soccer game.
Can he even send videos?
That wasn't
from
soccer.
China?
That was football.
Oh yeah, the Chiefs. That's right.
Yeah,
They don't even have the internet. How can you send?
Yeah,
they have the internet, but you don't have access to everything that you have access to.
China internet.
It's a difficult country to do commerce and to search for information. However, I spent some time in China. I spent some time in Singapore. My first time to Singapore. I've been to China before, and
I bet you have.
I thought I lived. I flew through Tokyo too, so I got some Japan. We landed there, and I was like, "Oh man, I haven't been here in like 40 years," because I'm old, and that's how long it's been since I lived in Japan. But I could tell you this: my chopstick skills were noticed, so much so that in multiple of those countries, people saw fit to audibly call it out. Oh my gosh. The first comment, oh my gosh, you use chopsticks better than me and I was born here. Like, what can I say?
Second
They're
comment.
a polite culture. They have to say that.
I actually responded with that. Well, I lived in Japan when I was young. And so then they were like, oh, no wonder. But then I would explain I was so young that I wasn't using utensils at all.
Wasn't using your
back
hands
then.
for much of anything.
That's why you're so short.
But I got you guys something.
Oh, all right. Fish skins.
Yes. Salted egg, spicy fish skins. And warning, there's a warning label here.
I see it.
They are dangerously addictive.
Oh, look out.
All right. So you guys
Can we buy these in the States, or is this China?
I heard that you could.
I mean, it's I don't see any Chinese.
I got these in Singapore.
Oh, Singapore.
Yeah.
All right.
Why are they so hot?
They've been in my truck and it's 105 degrees outside today.
Fish skins. All right. Oh, man, I'm getting it all over my computer here. Matt, why are you crunching right into the microphone for everybody?
Our listeners need to know.
It's the Asian thing to do, right?
Yeah. Oh, dude. Let me tell you. The soup slurping, and then the other thing is
that a thing? Like, is it a real thing?
Oh, it is. And then the other real thing is they do that intentionally while they're chewing, like your Aunt Charlotte used to.
I apologize for everyone out there that has misophonia right now.
Hey, I had to put up with it for 2 weeks, so pretty good, huh?
It's like a pork rind starting out, and then about a minute later, you really get the fish.
Sure.
I'm good.
You keep going.
I'm good.
Is it too spicy for your palate?
I dig them.
I didn't even taste any spice.
Hey, listen, I could eat this whole bag tonight.
You need to eat another one.
I didn't taste any spice.
There's got a little bit of heat on the back of your tongue. I'm a fan. So
I like those.
The first ones that I had were fresh made. So this is like the equivalent of a pork rind.
Yeah,
I would say in the Singapore culture.
Room now,
but and pork rinds are good in a bag. But if you've ever like ordered pork rinds at a restaurant,
Way better.
and so the first ones that I had were like fresh made, right there for us. So I was pretty excited.
Irvin's # dangerously addictive. Spicy salted egg fish skins. Shake for a great mix.
Maybe that's
Oh,
what.
check them up.
Maybe that's what was
It
missing.
says shake.
I didn't say it.
Maybe that's what gets the seasoning to where you can
Did
get
you not
some-
get any of that second round? Dude, I'm feeling it. I feel it's not like overwhelming spice, but it's there.
Yeah, I taste it too.
Yeah. You're crazy, man. Since you quit chewing,
Here, eat
you
another
lost taste buds.
I think my taste buds have died because I've been going back to Chicken Max. And have you had their habanero dip yet?
No, I haven't. I'll have to go
That's legit hot.
try it out.
It makes me gives me a little bit of a trepidation about trying their ghost chili dip because I mean it's legitimately hot.
Let me tell you, speaking of legitimately hot, one of the hotels I was staying in, I got outside of Shanghai for a little bit, and then when you lose an international city, you really do get into places where people don't speak English. And I was at a place that people didn't speak English, so I was going through the menu at this restaurant, and it had, it was all in Chinese, and it's a lot of Chinese characters, and then under it they had an English translation. So big block of Chinese characters, and then under it said pork and vegetables. And I said, well, sounds good. I'm going to get some pork and vegetables. I'm good with pork. I'm good with vegetables if they're cooked. I don't eat raw vegetables in an overseas scenario. So it comes out. It is pork and peppers, not bell peppers. It is
Chilies.
pork and chili peppers.
Nice.
Green ones and red ones, and the green ones were just as hot or hotter than the red ones, whatever it was. But it lit me up. It was very flavorful. But I was like, oh my gosh.
But that's the whole thing.
Some of those
hot peppers and pork.
That was it.
Some of those Asian peppers, they got you guys had those Thai peppers I brought in. Those had a little bit of a kick.
Yeah.
I was like, man, you guys
I've
got to
had some
change
Asian
your
zing.
check your vegetables. This should be like capsaicin or something. You got to have some word that translates that's hot, and it's in a chili oil that they cooked it with.
Nice.
So
Looks good.
that was decent food all the way around. I got the local in Singapore chili crab is the thing, so I ate some chili crab, and it's like a big crab in a thing of their type of chili, which is not like our type of chili, but it's pretty spicy and not too bad. I don't like eating like crab. I'd rather just crab meat, but it was like a crab sitting down inside the chili, which was pretty good. What else from the trip? I was in the future. Did you guys, I think I gave a report from the future to you guys.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah.
I'm in the future. You guys still suck.
And then you can actually travel in time. I figured this out.
Back in time.
But you can travel back in time when you're flying from Korea back to the States.
It was Japan, anywhere over there. So my route just was through Tokyo. So I left at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday from Tokyo, and I got back to Chicago at 8 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. So I that it didn't exist, and I got 2 hours back. So
what about that? You were showing me a picture of these guys painting like the side of a building.
Yeah. So you've got construction on your building, and they had this big, catwalk, whatever,
lift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they just were like rappelling down they had like a 5-gallon bucket of paint attached to each one of them, and they were rappelling, and they'd stick their paint roller in a thing, and took them like 30 minutes to hit one whole side of it was
a building a lot bigger than this
building.
one, and they've been out there 4 days already.
Oh, dude.
They need to get with it.
No, they got on it. I was in a meeting, and by the time the meeting finished, they were done. Like with the whole one side, they had already done the side before I showed up to that conference room.
Yeah.
I don't know where. Did I take a picture of it with this phone?
I don't know.
Can't remember. That's the problem with having two phones. Is I don't know what I'm taking, which phone I take pictures with.
That is a first world problem right there.
Yeah, well,
He got his burner phone.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, there you go, dude.
Yeah, 3 guys rappelling down the side of a building.
Just painting that joker.
Thanks, OSHA.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of. I don't think they're gonna die. I mean, people rappel all the time. I bet they're not union.
Yeah. I bet they were told to get out there and paint the side of that building.
And they went and did it.
Yeah.
So I also learned how to eat a fried chicken leg with chopsticks. Have you guys ever thought about this before?
No.
No. Well, you just pick it up with chopsticks, like the back of the leg, and then you eat it with that. So
No.
Is that because in their culture they don't use their hands for anything? They use.
I'm just
chopsticks
saying
for everything?
that well, in our culture, we don't use our hands for a whole lot of stuff, but we do. There's a chili crab. I already showed Troy some of this stuff.
Well, we do for chicken wings.
No, we do here for a lot of stuff. I just
Yeah.
think there they don't. Like, I mean, how do you know? They're more sanitary than we are. I think that's what it comes down to. Here,
Well, I mean, it's China.
but the
Gotta
funny
be sanitary when you're creating viruses.
the funny the funny thing about the I did send a video of a rebroadcast of the Chiefs versus Chargers game, which was a really exciting game. But it was rebroadcast with Chinese speaking sports broadcasters. And so they were all screaming and yelling when there was a touchdown. And then you'd hear, Chinese, Kelsey, Chinese, Mahomes. It's kind of funny. I can't even fake Chinese words. But so while I was out, any other questions? Anything I can sum up for you while we're
Let me have some more of those fish skins.
Hold on, I'm going to get some more.
All right. Thanks for sharing what's on your mind.
No, it's not over. I'm about to get to what's on my mind.
Golly.
This just been a recap,
Yeah.
special recap. So welcome to the
Jeez,
Hardheaded
I'm-
podcast.
Wait. Before I leave that,
And I'm already tired of hearing him talk. And it's been a month.
before I leave that, I'm going to roll up my sleeves while I talk about this. The number one question. I just traveled to 2 foreign countries, continents away, a day away, right? I was 13 hours ahead most of my time there. What do you think the number one question I got asked by people when I get back? All the cultural differences, all the foods, all the travel, even the governments, if you want to talk about that. What do you think the number one question is everybody wants to know?
How's your jet lag?
Yes.
Bam.
Why?
Because nobody ever does it.
But who cares? That's the one thing that everybody wants to ask.
That's it. That's the one thing that's on
Why do you
everybody's
care
mind.
Why do you care about my sleep life?
I-
You don't. Only when I travel do you care about my sleep life. You don't care about. You don't.
Hey, sometimes I might ask you, hey, how'd you sleep last night?
No,
man?
it's not. Nobody ever asked me that unless I travel.
Well, you don't have nice people.
I
around
didn't
you.
ask you, and I don't care.
Yeah, well, you don't ask questions. You just assume things, and you're wrong.
And
in
I'm
your
right.
Assumptions. But here's I just find that fascinating. Like the number one question.
Hey, you know how I knew that?
You did it.
Because that's the first thing I asked you.
Yeah. But everybody did. Like everybody in the States. When I'm over there, nobody's like, can you survive with the time change? Like, no, I'm an adult. I've been tired before. I'll be tired again. So I think that's fascinating. While I was out,
Man, those are good.
I know. The salted egg is there's a lot of salted egg stuff there. They also did a thing. Did they do this in the Middle East? Like a duck egg or a chicken egg? They'd crack it, but not like open it up, but just like put cracks in it all the way around and boil it in tea. And then the tea would get into the egg white while it's boiling and it would turn brown. There's a tea egg. I thought that was rather interesting.
Caffeinated eggs.
So while I was out, I think I had to notify you guys about this because none of you pay attention to the internet in a good way. Like Troy just doesn't know what's going on in general, and you're like memeing things and not really keeping up. Are you okay? Did you just drink all the water?
Got some spicy fish egg.
Yeah.
Fish
skin.
egg.
Fish skin. Egg coated skin. Whatever.
Salted egg.
Yeah, you want some more?
Yeah, I'll have some salted egg. I don't know what that is, but
So, Oliver Anthony Music. What do you guys know about him now?
I knew about it before you shared that because it'd been out for like a week.
I let it percolate for a few days because I couldn't talk to you guys anyway while I was
In
being
China.
being monitored.
Yeah, I did once you sent it to me, I went and checked out his YouTube channel and saw a lot of other people like doing what do you call it, where they watch it? And
Reaction videos.
reaction videos to it. And,
The bane of my existence.
tons of stuff out there about him. And yeah, I've watched a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and he just hit though. Like this is all
Like this
so
week,
when this
like
episode's
last week,
releasing is 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
And so do you guys know any of his backstory? Like the guy's name is Chris, by the way. His grandfather's name was Oliver. And so he named his music Oliver Anthony Music is his grandfather's name. And then that's the music entity. But his real name's Chris. High school dropout. This is what I love about him as far as his authenticness is he's like, hey, now that everybody knows who I am, which I wasn't intending at all. But now that you know who I am, you ought to really know who I am. Like, my name's Chris. You can call me Oliver. That's what I just named what I did with the music perspective. I did music because it helps me cope. I've had some alcohol issues. I had a head injury from a work incident back in 2014. And so this is kind of my therapy that I do from playing music, writing my own music. And I write about things I care about and I'm depressed about and I struggle with depression. And so this is just an outlet, which is cool. And then he has another friend that does video stuff, and so they made some music videos, and he decided to put some out there, and then the right people caught it. Twitter's where it blew up, and then like Rogan retweeted it, and next thing you know, like millions and millions and millions of views within 24 hours, like just boom, just totally blew up. So then while that's happening, they go release on iTunes, and iTunes blows up #1 song. He's actually got 3 songs like right now that are in the top 10 of downloads on all of iTunes. So huge explosion. He's got record deals. He's turned them down. I don't want to be a musician like that. I don't want to work for people. Like $8 million is one of the offers. I don't need it. He said, just up to a few years ago, I was working this job where I'm making $14 an hour. Blue collar, just straight up blue collar, letting it be. And he's like, oh, and so these are my upcoming tour dates, and it's not a tour. It's like he just goes to like a local farmer's market and plays where they do, people could play on the stage or whatever. And so I don't know if you watched that video, but that was pretty cool. So he showed up to his first time to play after everything went crazy, and like thousands of people showed up. And he mentions, he's like, last time I was here, there were literally 20 people. Like to hear me sing. So, and while he's there, Jamie Johnson, the In Color guy, walks up on stage and it's like, hey, can I play with, and so he's singing a duet In Color with, which is a pretty cool independent kind of musician, which I think is fantastic as well. But why do you think his song Rich Men North of Richmond, I almost chose to explain that to you, but I hope you get it already?
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. Who are the rich men north of Richmond?
DC.
Yes.
Way to go, Troy.
All right, man. Did you pull out Google Maps?
No, I got it.
Yes.
Just from reading the title of the song. Because I've been there, I know where it's at.
To Richmond?
To DC.
Have you been to your aunt lived in? You had a great aunt that lived in Richmond.
No, she didn't.
Yeah. Ann.
Oh yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah. Oh well, you've been all over the place, man.
Maybe, no, I mean to see her. Like Ashley and I went there.
Oh yeah,
long time ago. Anyway, yeah. Why do you think it hit so hard?
Because man, it touches a nerve to everybody, I think.
What nerve?
The man.
So I don't know. We're a kid friendly show, so I can't read everything. Selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for BS pay. Like, does anybody do that? Wasting his life. Will he sit out here and waste his life away? Drown his troubles away. That's kind of his alcohol issues. What's the world gotten to? I don't know. I think, so this is what I've said before on the podcast, and I think this is he drew a line between the people that are suffering and the people that are causing it, right?
Yeah.
And that line was, you're either a politician in D.C. or you're not. And I think that's what I think that's one of the things that's resonating, because the last thing that should be happening now, and I haven't paid this close attention, but like your Ted Cruz's and your Trumps and your DeSantis's shouldn't be like, oh, listen to this guy, because that guy's singing about them just as much as he's singing about Biden. He is saying, if you're in D.C., you're part of the problem. If you're in D.C., the welfare system is because of you. And I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. That's how I interpret what he's saying, and that's how I think why people are resonating with it. It's a clear delineation between the haves and the have-nots, the people that are screwing us over and the people that are getting screwed over. And it is, if you're a politician today, it's your fault.
Yeah.
What do you think? Am I right, Matt? Or are you going to?
Yeah, I think that's pretty close, actually.
Yeah, well, I watched another video where he was just talking about some of the things he's written about, and he went into that and kind of explained it, kind of how you just did.
So if you're listening to this podcast and you don't know what we're talking about, you need to go look up Oliver Anthony music, and it won't be hard to find. And Rich Men North of Richmond is the song that initially went viral. He's got a few more really good ones. Ain't Got a Dollar, I really enjoy. And it's the line in that, ain't got a dollar, don't need a dime. Basically, it's about if you got a piece of land with a creek in the back and a dog and a good woman to hold, you don't need anything. It doesn't matter if you have a dollar. And then Rich Man's Gold is about his grandfather Oliver, which is another really good one. So anyway, that's what's been on my mind. I think it's fascinating to watch it blow up, and also for people that I think that he is frustrated with, to try to adopt him. Like, yeah, his views are my views, and like, well, now if you listen to his words, like, you're the problem. But they're trying to jump on he's singing about the other politicians. You're like, no, he's singing about all of you, because you all are responsible. And I think one of the reasons that our country's so divided is that the people that are in positions of power in Washington keep pointing across the aisle, but the reality is the boundaries drawn around the city, not inside the Capitol building.
Interesting. So I noticed with the whole fires in Hawaii, and
what are you talking about?
The
I'm kidding. I know what's going on.
Hawaii.
I'm pretending to be Troy right now.
You've been gone.
Hey, I knew about the fires in Maui. Chill out,
nice.
man.
So anyway, okay. So
I'm up to speed, guys.
Are
That's
you?
awesome.
Bring it.
Any of the restaurants that you've been to change the menu, and instead of having like Maui Fire or Maui Heat, change the name?
Never heard of Maui Heat.
Yeah, it's like
Maui known for heat.
I don't know, but I just
If
saw,
they did, it would be funny.
I saw a post that these some restaurants have been changing their menus. Instead of Maui Fire, they like cover it over, and it's like the Coast to Coast taco or whatever. Anyway, but the pointing across the aisle and blaming everybody else, I'm so sick of it. And matter of fact, I saw a post from Dan Crenshaw, who's a former Navy SEAL. Now he's a congressman. And it's like, what is Joe Biden doing? He's not doing anything to help, the victims of the fires in Maui or whatever.
Yeah.
That's okay. So you're going to talk. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Instead of pointing out and saying, hey, he's not doing his job or this and that. Like, we get it. He's not there. He's not able to do his job. He's just not. He's got people doing.
He went.
He's got people doing his things.
He talked about how hot the pavement was.
Yeah.
He did that.
It's melting.
He did that today, the day we're recording. He did. But it was, I'm sorry.
But it's just strange to me. Like, instead of talking about it, and it goes back to my favorite line, my favorite quote is, don't talk about it, be about it.
Yeah.
So don't talk about, what are you doing? Let's show me what you're doing. And then after you're done, point out the faults and say, hey, this could have been done better. But
that's all they're doing though is pointing out faults and not
because it
doing anything.
makes it look like they're working and they don't actually have to do anything because like, hey, I'm pointing that guy out. I'm doing something.
Yeah.
Instead of actually doing something.
Yeah.
Stupid.
If Bush flew over Katrina and they gave him a hard time, or Ted Cruz went to Cancun when they had the ice storm and nobody said anything about Biden not being there for 10 days. But you know what? I don't want to hear about all that other crap either. If it was Bush or if it was Ted Cruz, who cares? It's Biden. What didn't show up? So somebody say something about that. And when he did show up, this is the other thing that frustrates me about the divisiveness. They're playing this quote about how he's talking about how the pavement's really hot, and they're like, "Can you believe this idiot? Like how out of uncouth? He's so out of touch that he's talking about how the pavement's hot, and the fire was 2 weeks ago, and why is he worried about the hot pavement? That's cool." Well, he's standing next to one of the search and rescue people, and they have a dog, and he looks down, and the dog's standing on black asphalt. He doesn't say, "Oh, your dog's on black asphalt. This pavement's really hot. You have any boots?" He can't put words together that way, unfortunately. But that was the context. He's like, "Oh, you got boots? This pavement's hot." And I think he's asking if the dog had some kind of a shoe that he could be wearing so he doesn't hurt his paws on the hot pavement. But by golly, don't make me have to defend Joe Biden. But come on, people. Let's talk about reality. Let's not be sensational. Let's just talk about the facts and not blow things out of proportion.
I don't know. I mean, you went to China and now you defend Joe Biden?
Jeez. Here's the
collusion.
Have you seen
What
my
is
new
happening?
Ferrari that I drove up here in? Yeah.
No, I didn't see that.
Because it doesn't exist. But
Yet.
you know what they're saying about the kids? There's a lot of weird things around this event, and I'm not going to talk about any of those conspiracies.
Around what now?
The event of the fire.
The fire.
Did you know they canceled school that day?
No.
Yeah, they did. So all the kids were home. Like none of them were at school. And they came out today, and we're just so you know, we're recording on Tuesday. This episode will be released on Thursday. They came out today and said, just so you know, there's more. Like we have found 100 and whatever 80, whatever the number is. There's more. Well, some of the local people are saying like there's still like 1,500 people missing, and they're mostly kids. Like that's what some of the local, I don't know. It's not verified or validated. But then you get into this water equity deal. Have you heard about this? Like they turn the water off so certain neighborhoods wouldn't get so much water because they're trying to balance who has access to the natural resources, because water's a depleted resource, and everybody just can't have free flowing water. So we're going to disperse that amongst the different communities and whatever. So they didn't have enough pressure to fight it if they tried, which they didn't try. They didn't sound the alarm that something was bad going on. A lot of crazy stuff going on. But I will say the guy that's responsible for the water equity issue, he quit. He resigned. So that rarely happens these days. So thank you for quitting, guy. That's what you should have done. You probably shouldn't have the job in the first place. But, you screwed that up royally. People died. Quit and move on. I wish more people would do that when they screw up. But anyway, there's some crazy stuff going on with the Hawaii wildfire.
Man.
And that wasn't even what was on my mind, but you brought it up.
Well, it ties back into what you were saying about the pointing fingers, and it's not about.
Oh yeah.
Because I just saw that, and I'm like, my very first thought was, well, what are you doing? And then you scroll down to the bottom of the post, and at the bottom of the post there's a link. Hey, donate here. It's like, oh, okay. Why am I donating?
You want to waste some time? And I know it's a future episode. We're going to talk about top three
time wasters.
David Goggins and Crenshaw got into a social media argument, and they talked back. They recorded videos to each other like for hours. Can't remember what I was doing. I was doing something on a car in the garage that was taking me a couple. I don't know. I was under the vehicle, but I had the speaker going, and it was like Crenshaw, and then it would be like Goggins. Like, oh, this is, you guys are so hung up on yourselves. It's ridiculous.
Man.
It's cinema.
But anyway,
It's
So-
not, it's not politics. It's just cinema.
yeah.
Anyway, Chet, thank you for that. And welcome back to the great United States of America. Hopefully we can reassimilate you back into a free civilization.
You think we're free?
You keep saying that. I want proof. Or are you going to talk about that later?
No.
How China's more free?
In some cases they are. In some cases they're not. I was there 10 years ago, and a dude talked to a police officer in a way that I thought we were all going to get shot, and we would have if we were in the States if we did that. And then the police officer was like, shut up, get out of here. And the dude was like, no, I hate your guts. You're an idiot. You don't tell me what to do. I'm assuming this is what he was saying because it was all in Chinese.
Right.
And
For a second there, I saw you translating this whole thing in your mind.
I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah, Google Translate up. Oh, he makes a very good point.
Google doesn't work in China. Just so you know.
Very well.
No Google. No Google Maps. None of that. It's no free DuckDuckGo. Nope. No, DuckDuck don't go.
What about
Not in China.
Pokemon Go?
I don't think so. There's
Because I mean, it originated.
the other thing that they have is they're getting rid of cash. We could talk about this later. They're getting rid of cash. So you pay everything through an
Here
app.
it comes, man.
And
Here
they
it
could
comes.
toggle that on and
On
off. And it's not through credit. It's through your bank. Like it's your bank card that's in there. So that's
Apple, you can just walk into their store. If you have an iPhone, you just walk into their store, walk out with stuff, and it charges your phone.
Unless you're a gun owner and then they don't let you use Apple Pay. That's what's coming, Troy.
Wow.
Just so you know. All right. We're done. I'm done. Unless you got anything else you need to bring
I
up.
don't. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have our top 3 words of advice for students. At Admiral's Pennant, our mission is to offer the latest and refined, high-quality masculine products and services to the modern gentleman, as well as provide him with the tools and products necessary to look, act, and feel confident in his appearance and social interactions. Check it out at admiralspennant.com. Without it, you might as well shave.
And we're back.
Hey, my line.
That's mine officially.
You taking selfies there?
I'm being real right now.
Are you being mid?
No, real.
Be real. They don't have that in China either.
No, they don't. I was able every now and then to connect through VPN, but man, it's locked now. Like there's very little access to much of anything.
We're done with nobody cares about China anymore. We're done. We're done with that. We're going to move on
Moving on.
to top 3 words of advice for students. School's back in session now. Most everybody's back, college, high school, elementary school kids. So, Troy, why don't you kick it off? What advice do you have for students?
Well, I will start with my number 3. Graduate and get to work. Stop partying. I think it's good advice. If I'd have stopped partying in my 20s and would have just got to work, I'd be a lot further ahead in life than I am today.
Be a little further along.
Be a little further along.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I had this conversation with my son yesterday. We went to a friend's house and they're pretty wealthy. They have this nice indoor half court. And his friend came out to greet us, show us where to go. And first thing Noah said was, "Man, you must be glad that your dad's rich." Just because we drove up to his house and it's like this.
Yeah.
He was just overwhelmed with,
Yeah.
wow, this is so nice and cool. And it was pretty awesome. So we had a conversation after I picked him up, like, hey, if you want something like this when you grow up, like you got to get to work,
Yeah.
you know? So,
Or, son, you shouldn't be so focused on material things, and you could have the ability to buy something like this and make wiser choices with your money.
yeah, we had that discussion too.
Yeah, yeah.
We have that a lot.
You're building a half court on your house right now, so
That's right.
Mr. Wealth.
It's not a half court. There ain't no basketball going on in there.
Not yet.
Some welding.
Welding.
All right, number 2, study something you love or at least have interest in.
Oh, I disagree with that. But go ahead.
I don't. And number 1, get debt free. And if you already are debt free, don't go into debt.
So you're thinking college and all this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Preparing them for life.
So this whole do what you love advice, man, what if what you love doesn't pay any money and you need to provide for your family? Underwater basket weaver. No, seriously.
Well,
Like there's a lot of people that love, digital gender studies, but you're not going to get it. You're not going to make any money on that. Like, so don't go do that. Don't chase your dreams. Like, do you think people love picking up garbage? You think people love sewers?
maybe.
No, they do it because, man, there's a lot of money to be made there. And I get to do what I love because I made money. You listen to Mike Rowe at all? You should. That's the way I heard it.
He's the guy from Dirty Jobs.
Yeah, I know. I used to watch that show.
Yeah, those people doing dirty jobs aren't doing it because they love it. They're doing it because it needs to be done, and people pay top dollar.
Tell you what, that driving a garbage truck, man, that's living the dream. To be honest,
I'd drive a garbage
that's
truck.
what I wanted to do when I was a kid.
Yeah,
and now I realize how much money they actually make, and I'm like, oh boy, I can
let's do it.
Woo! I missed my chance though.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
and days like today, I don't want to be out there picking up trash.
Yeah, I think that's you got to be careful with that kind of advice. Hopefully, what you love, you can provide for your family with.
Yeah, if it's something, I mean, I would say use common sense too. I mean, you know, like underwater basket weaving.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this, I got to where I am mostly through quality in manufacturing, like the jobs of, quality engineer. Nobody's like, I want to be a quality manager when I grow up because I'm just going to love dealing with policies, processes, and procedures.
Yeah, but your job, you're a people person. You like to deal with people.
I'm an introvert.
Yeah, but you're still good in small settings. I mean, you're good in large settings.
Look,
you can.
That doesn't mean I love it. I actually do like public speaking.
See,
you're not an introvert.
Dude, I'm an introvert, and shut your face when you think you know me.
You're not.
Huh?
You're not.
Every time I've ever tested anything, I come up strong introvert. Strong. It drains me to be around people.
Chet loves what he does.
I don't like people.
And he has interest in
I didn't
it.
know. That's actually interesting. I didn't know that it drained you to be around people because if I'm around people, I've got to take like 3 weeks.
Dude.
Before I do anything ever again.
3 weeks. It doesn't take me 3 weeks. I'm not weak, but
I'm just more introverted. Like it takes me a lot longer to recharge.
Pulls energy out from me. And just the other day,
and all three of us are introverts.
Just the other day, I was telling my daughter I had to go to the store, and I said, "Hey, let's go to the store." And she said, "No," and I'm like, "Yeah, come on, let's go, let's get out of the house. I don't want to see any more people today." That's what she said. I don't want to be around any more people today. And I was like, "Well, you're going to," but yeah, I'm like that. I just I'd rather not. I'm not a big people fan.
All right, well, that's my top 3.
All right. Good.
Chet?
You got it. Number 3, this is going to go 2 different ways. If you have a younger child, and I'm thinking about this for under college, so under the grade school, middle school, high school. So if you have a high schooler, the words of advice for students, you go, hey, toughen up, get some tough skin. You're going to hear some things that you don't want to hear from people about your looks, about your clothes, about your car, whatever. Toughen up, because that's just going to happen. Now, if you're younger, it would be like, hey, don't look for others for approval. Like, don't worry about what other people say. Don't let it offend you. You can't stop them from saying it, but don't let it offend you. That's number 3. Number 2, get your homework done early. Don't put it off for the last minute. Just get it out of the way. Don't let that hold you out in front. Don't do it. Number 1, and this applies to all, kindergarten, grade school, middle school, high school, college. Make good friends. Make the effort and do it early. Go find some friends. Find somebody to sit with in the cafeteria. Don't wait for that to happen the second, third, fourth week. Go right out. First time you're there. Start mingling and meeting people, because
making the
they're in the
rounds.
same boat you're in at that point. They haven't established everything else. So you have an opportunity to jump in there and set the tone.
Right on.
I dig it. Well, I guess it's my turn.
I dig it. Well, like a well. Dug it.
Puns, wordplay. Number 3, and this is I kind of separated a little bit too, because it's not just for college kids, but this mostly applies to college and high schoolers. Exercise. Even if you're not on a team or a part of any sport, do something physical, because that's what's going to actually keep you awake in class and give you energy.
Okay.
And you're working your mind, work your body, because that's going to help you train your brain. Number 2, don't buy trends. Don't buy into the stupid this year's backpack or this year's, whatever. There's always classics that never die. Mm-hmm. Buy those. They typically aren't that expensive. Yeah. If you're in college, save your money. Don't buy into that stuff.
Like shoes are a big thing right now. Yeah. When I was back in high school, Z Cavaricis.
I haven't heard Z Cavarici in a long time.
I know, like $100 pair of jeans that are not cool.
It was Jabot.
That was next.
Jabot jeans.
That was
when
next.
I was in high school.
Yeah, that I'm a little bit older than you.
That's right.
Guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Guess. My mom found some Guess jeans at Goodwill or something.
Yeah.
Took the label off, put them on a pair
of Lee jeans,
of something that Ashley wore, that because the Guess jeans, I think they bought her a pair, they didn't even fit her right. She didn't like them. But keeping up with the Joneses or whatever,
you got to do it. You got to have that
took
brand.
that label off and put that brand on her other jeans. Can you believe that?
That's resourceful.
Mom, I can't believe you did that.
Resourceful.
Calling out the mom, that's not good.
Yeah.
But
it didn't ruin your daughter, by the way.
No, she turned out great.
Right.
Turned out great.
Other than she has poor choice in men.
she has that, but she does have good taste in Facebook posts, because I posted the where you sent the dad joke the other day, and she put the laugh emoji. So I was like, she knows you. All right. Yeah. So don't buy the trends. And number 1, getting involved in activities. I don't care if it's drama. I don't care, band, football, soccer, whatever
do
it is.
Something.
Get involved with a club or something like that. Just again, and that kind of goes to Chet. What you said is find friends and find them early. And typically you
find a whole community that way.
You find people that have similar interest in and all that. And I've still got friends this day that from the soccer teams or basketball teams or whatever, and so those friendships are good ones. But it also gives you something to do, so you're not out getting in trouble if you've got those activities lined up to do after classes or after school.
Yep.
All right, Troy, good word, man.
Good word. So the good word is loved. Loved.
Past tense.
Yes.
Like camping.
Mm-hmm. Camping's intense.
Intense.
But it could be present tense too.
Yeah.
So knowing that you are loved.
Okay.
Right? So that would be present tense. So I was listening to a podcast the other day from Redeemer Church here in Wichita, and Dr. Vic Gordon was preaching, and he was talking about how his prayer for his children as he was growing up was, God, I just pray that they would know how deeply you love them, because if you know how much God loves you, it can change your life. And he goes into like his whole story and tells the story of his 3 kids and how one of his kids, his daughter, just gave him the hardest time growing up, and would always just kind of pick at him and just to do things to make him like, like question if he's doing the right thing and all that stuff. And he tells a story about how he hates tattoos. Like he just, for the longest time, never liked them. And then later, his daughter was a lot older. She came home and was like, hey, older as in she's already married and, left the house, and they were at the house, and he was like, or she was saying, hey, Dad, I want to let you know I got a tattoo.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. She's like, you want to see it? I'm really excited about it. I really want you to see it. And he's like, yeah, so they had this conversation. She ended up showing it to him. And I can't remember what passage it was. I should have looked that up. Sorry. But it was basically a passage on how much she knows that God loves her. And after seeing the tattoo, he's like, man, I'm a fan of tattoos now. Because it was just, to him, it was just like this answered prayer that she had figured out how much God deeply loves her, and it changed her life. And so just that's my word for the day, is loved, and God is love, and he loves each one of us just passionately and deeply. And if you can understand the love that he has for you, it'll change your life.
Even if you have a tattoo.
Even if you have a tattoo. And if you want to know how much the Father's love is for you, you can look at Jesus. It's the best way to figure it out. Look at Jesus, read the Bible, and find out how much he loves you.
Ask a question in the comment section. We'll talk to you.
Absolutely. That's it.
Appreciate you joining us. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Hardheaded Podcast. Don't forget to share this podcast with others to help us get the word out.
Also, if you haven't yet, please rate and review the show. This helps our podcast show up in other people's suggested shows that may or may not have listened to us before.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.